So just now that segment was on Pythagoras theorem. So now move on to today's lesson. Okay, in Sec 3 NA, what are we learning? Okay, or Sec 3 Express, what are we learning in Sec 3? So be it Express or NA, we all got to learn this. No, this one is on trigo ratio. Trigonometric ratios. What are they? What do we use them for? Okay, pay careful attention to today's lesson. Not difficult at all. Just pay attention. Okay, so far I'll build on what you already know. You know that a right angle triangle, the longest side, okay, or the length that's opposite the right angle, right, which is the longest side, we call it the hypotenuse. Okay, the other two sides actually got name one. You know, what are their names? Okay, so for trigo ratios, right, one extra thing about it is there must be a reference angle. There must be a reference angle. Okay, so assuming this is a reference angle, right, the angle that we are working with, call it the angle that we are working with, reference angle, or base angle. Okay, over here, this is the base angle. The length is opposite it, we call it opposite. Is that okay? Opposite. So this is called hypo. Hypo stays the same, right? It's the length that's the longest side of a right angle triangle. Then the length that's opposite the reference angle is called opposite. Okay, opposite. Then the last one, the length of this, we call it adjacent. Adjacent, ADJ for short. Okay, you want to spell the whole name is spelled as adjacent. Okay, sorry. Adjacent. This one is opposite. 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 Alright? So adjacent. What is adjacent? Adjacent is the line where the right angle and the reference angle sits on. It's the only line that touch both of them at the same time. Okay, touch the right angle and the reference angle. Okay, so if I were to draw the right angle slightly differently, let's say I draw it. Okay, sorry, tell you what, I keep the same right angle triangle, exactly the same. I call it PQR now. PQR. Right angle. But instead of reference angle here, Mr. put the reference angle here. What if this is my reference angle? What happens? Let's try to label the right angle triangle. The longest side of right angle triangle is always the hypo. So always label the hypo first, okay? Always label the hypo first. Easiest mark, you learn it from Sec 2. Longest side of right angle triangle. Then after we always label the opposite. Opposite, look at the reference angle. Opposite. So this is called the opposite. Last but not least, the adjacent. It is called adjacent. How double check? How do you know this adjacent? It's the only line that touches both the 90 degree and the reference angle. Okay, are you able to do that? Are you able to recognize how to label a triangle? If you're able to do that, you can move on to today's lesson. Okay? Can? Any questions so far? No questions, I move on. Okay, so over here, so now that you know how to label a triangle, the next thing I'm going to teach you are something we call certain ratios. Okay, certain ratios. Okay, sine of an angle. Okay, okay, I'll just use an example. Mr. will just use this example. Or tell you what, I'll use a new example. I try to keep everything on the board. Let's say I have another right angle triangle. This is angle EFG. Okay, EFG, right angle triangle. Okay, then this over here, this is my reference angle. Okay, this is my reference angle. So now I'm going to teach you 3 trigonometric ratios. Okay, they are called the sine ratio. It's called the second one is called the cosine ratio. Third one is called the tangent ratio. Okay, tangent of an angle. Okay, in short, instead of writing sine, we write SIN. Okay, it's SIN. Instead of cosine, we short form we all write COS, or small letter. Instead of tangent, we write TAN. This is not tan, not tan, it's this tangent, okay? Tangent. So when you take sine of an angle, example sine angle F, cosine angle F, and tangent angle F, what is it equals to? What is the ratio? Okay, let's say trigo ratio, they must be, is a ratio. So you must have something over something, right? Something over something. Okay, so now, what is the something over something? Let me help you. Is that okay? Okay, so when we look at a right angle triangle, what we need to do is we must label it first. Okay, we label hypo first. Hypo, so this is the hypo. And then if this is the reference angle, this must be the opposite. Last but not least, this is the adjacent. Double check, adjacent is line that touches both the right angle and the reference angle. Okay, what is sine of an angle? Okay, so normally what we do is we use this acronym to help us remember what the trigo ratios are. Okay, because we're Asian, right? Singaporean, a lot, quite some of us are Hokkien, we call it Tua Ka So, very famous Tua Ka So. Okay, you ask your seniors, ask your parents, when they have learned trigo ratio, likelihood is that teachers would have used this acronym before. Okay, Tua Ka So, right? Tua Ka So, in Hokkien, basically loosely translated, it means big-footed lady, big-footed lady, right? Big-footed auntie, lady, auntie, okay, auntie. Okay, how does this help us to remember what the ratios are? Okay, you notice this is T. Okay, I start from S. S. Okay, S. S stands for S. Then you see O and H. It means sine of an angle equals to opposite over. H stands for hypo. So sine of an angle is equals to opposite over hypo. Okay, can? So cosine. Oh, Mr. Ng leave some space between them. Cosine. So cosine of an angle F. Okay, what is cosine? Cosine is equals to, you notice, equals to AH. So A stands for, make a guess, adjacent, right? A stands for adjacent over hypo. So adjacent over hypo. Is that okay? The last one, tangent. Okay, tangent. So tangent we use little t, right? After that, always remember trigo of an angle. Trigo of an angle equals to tangent. So tangent equals to OA. O stands for opposite, A stands for adjacent. Notice basically you just play around with these three, right? So opposite over adjacent. So far so good. Right? So over here, if you take a look at this, it tells me that I write here, in case you can't remember, the O stands for opposite, the A stands for adjacent. The A stands for adjacent, the H stands for hypo. Last one, the O stands for opposite, the H stands for hypo. So sine equals to opposite over hypo, cosine equals to adjacent over hypo, and tangent equals to opposite over adjacent. So over here, if I were to rewrite it, what is my opposite? Opposite is EG. So EG over hypo is EF. So EF. Okay? For cosine, adjacent over hypo. What's adjacent? FG over hypo. EF. What about tangent? Tangent opposite. Tangent equals to opposite EG over adjacent is FG. That's it. Okay? Is this part alright? Can?